The former Children's Laureate Michael Rosen says the erosion of London's libraries makes him both sad and angry. A BBC investigation has found more than 400 library staff jobs have been lost in London since 2016, and 99 of the capital's remaining council-run libraries have reduced their opening hours. Some libraries, like this one in Harrow, are only kept open because the community stepped in.
You know, I just feel so sad. Mixture of sad and angry. I'm sangry, that's what I am. Sad and angry about this, that this wonderful facility that we've had and perhaps taken for granted has been eroded, just bit by bit, taking it away from us.
Just wonder, have you read Come and Get Me Cowboy, Jane?
I can't possibly say, John.
I reckon she wrote it. Thank you very much indeed. See you later.
That's a very unusual library. Well, let's talk to someone now who knows all about the joy of reading. It is, of course, the author Michael Rosen. Morning, Michael.
Good morning to you.
Libraries are so important, aren't they?
Yes, they're so important in many different ways. It's not. Sometimes we just think of libraries as places with books. But you think of teenagers. They go in there, they do their homework, they may not have computers, they can go to the library, use the computers. For people, large print, for example, you can get hold of large print books for free for people like me who've got problems with their eyes. You know, young children, migrant families where maybe the mums, dads, grandparents don't speak English, they take their kiddies to the library. I've sat in the library, say, in Hackney, and seen children reading to their grandparents who are maybe only half understand the English, but it's the way they're learning English. I mean, so many different things. They're like community hubs in many ways.
And so when you hear these figures that we've got this morning, this BBC investigation saying nearly 200 council-run libraries...
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's awful.
Does it hurt your heart a bit?
It does. I sort of hear these stats and, well, I talk to librarians all the time. It's a mixture of horror and sadness, you know. I feel angry and sad. I feel sangry about it, that it's happened. That it is happening now. And it's a soft target, isn't it? You know, if you close libraries, nobody dies. You know, that's what they think. But, you know, what's happening is it's society who suffers and people who suffer.
You just used the word sangry.
Yes.
Which is a very Michael Rosen word. It's a kind of word that you invent. You love words. Yes. And you're also here this morning because you've been collecting words.
Yes.
The kind of words like sangry that aren't really words, but kind of become words in our family. What have you found out?
Oh, well, yes. I put out a message on social media for the programme I do on Radio 4 called Word of Mouth. And we put out one about asking for family sayings, and all sorts of things came in, and I was thinking about things my parents used to say. I mean, my mother used to say, ask your father what he's doing and tell him to stop it. I mean, brilliant, you know, like that. Or when the dishwasher broke down, she called it the wish dasher. And then somebody else, we did something similar, we called it the wash disher. So, you know, people are doing that all the time, yeah.
I like the wish dasher. That's brilliant, that's genius.
Well, my mum was, that's right, yes. So, you know, and there was a lady, Katie, I think she's coming on your programme, just met in the green room there, and she said, oh, yeah, it makes your toes curl at 20 paces. Oh, lovely. What an image. You can see your toes curling. Look, are your toes curling? Yeah, no, yours are. That's right, yeah. Yeah, I love all these, yes. And
what sort of things have come in there? What are the words you've heard, the phrases you've...
Well, of course, one of the things that happen is that people think of phrases that vary all across the country. You know, people have got lots of different words for woodlice. What do you call a woodlouse? Do you call it a woodlouse?
Just a woodlouse, yeah.
Oh, well, go to Northern Ireland, they're slaters.
OK.
And you go to other parts and they call them things like chunky plogs or something.
Oh, yes.
Just words all over, or an alleyway, you know, people call it an alleyway.
Go
the
on.
lady said there, she comes from Sussex, she calls it a twitten.
OK.
Yeah, you go to other parts of the country and they call it a
ginnel.
There you go.
Yorkshire?
Yeah, well, that's right.
Ginnel? Yeah.
So you get all those.
I was once in court covering a report as a reporter and heard a barrister trying to relate to the jury, and he said that the thief had run down the Janelle. You got it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Trying to be a man of the people, it rather backfired, I think,
Yes.
with the jury.
Of course, if you're in Northern Ireland, you get things like, well, your bum's out the windy. You know, I mean, I haven't pronounced that properly, as you can hear, but anyway. And you think, and that's supposed to mean, I think, that you're talking nut, you're talking crazy stuff.
You're not saying, you're not right.
Yeah, that's right.
I love this one I saw in your book, footering. Pottering about and not achieving much.
Yes,
I do that a lot. I'm footering a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, same. We've had lots and lots of people get in touch with us, Michael, about this. This is from Susie McNally, who got in touch saying that The stool in her house is known as the shook, after her granddaughter said it 16 years ago. That's it. That's it. It's not
That's
a
a
step
shook.
or a
That's
stool. It's
the
a
shook.
shook. It just stuck.
Well, in fact, again,
The shook
in
stuck.
Scotland and Northern Ireland, I think they sometimes call a ditch a shach.
Oh, OK.
I think that's a sort of what's called Hiberno-British. You've got a whole dialect across from Scotland to Northern Ireland of words like scannard that some of your viewers will know.
Yeah.
Or that a splinter, that I call a splinter, they call a
Don't know.
skelf. A skelf, that's right. And if you're given a little smack, then that's called a scalp. So, yeah, lots and lots of words like that, all different words, obviously, all over the country. And then lots of lovely expressions people have, like flash as a rat with a gold tooth. That's one of my favourites.
Flash as a rat with a gold tooth.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas my dad used to say, as sharp as a matzo ball and twice as greasy. So a matzo ball is like the little dumpling that you put in chicken soup. So
I've got one.
I've
Just thought of one.
Go on,
My
then.
nan used to say, "Are your diamond shoes too tight?" Get it?
And are they?
Yeah.
Never.
Never. Yeah.
What else have we got here? Joanna has been in touch from County Durham this morning. Morning, Joanna. She says her daughter has invented a whole lexicon of words for her family, inspired by their dog, Spud. She says spudulant in their house means anything that's slightly naughty or cheeky, just like Spud the dog.
Love that.
Somebody wrote in to us and said that the child heard microwave as my crowave. And so she's talked about your crowave. So I'm going to heat this up in your crowave. So good, isn't it?
Oh, these are brilliant. What else have you got?
I've got one here from the Owens, who have invented the word chiddle-poddle, which is the skin that forms on the top of homemade custard.
Oh, yeah.
Chiddle-poddle.
And what about, you know what weak tea is, don't you?
No, go on.
Fortnight tea.
Why is that?
It's because it's too weak.
Oh, very good.
It's not mine. It's all right. Don't groan at me. You can groan at the person who sent it in. And you know what you call it when a tea's only half full, do you?
Go on.
It's got the parson's collar. That's what somebody sent in. They say, oh, look, that's the parson's collar. And so you then have to top it up, you see.
I love these. And I love the family ones most of all. The ones that are not just regional or local, but just in one household. Becky's household in Manchester. So her daughter combined the words radiator and heater. And so they just call them now the heaterators, which sounds like a kind of dinosaur.
Yes, that's right. My son, he kept talking about the smeenge. We kept saying the smeenge. What's the smeenge? And it turned out he was saying machine. But he called it the smeenge. And apparently this is quite common, we found out, because in English, most of our words that are two syllables go humpty, dumpty. So that's what's called an iamb. But so, it's called a trochee. And so if you have words that the other way around, like machine instead of humpty, then little ones, they only hear the second syllable. So he was saying schminge, because he couldn't say machine. They turn it round the other way. So instead of saying giraffe, they end up saying raff, because they can only hear the bit of the word that is stressed. I know it's quite complicated, but anyway. But you see what I mean? So I can see you looking at me. Yeah.
No. I'm fascinated. We could go about this for ages.
So
I wish we could.
Sally, you see, that they would hear that. They would hear Sally. But if your name was Esal, all right, they would only say the Sal bit. All right? So this is little 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds. They only hear the stressed syllable. So they say raff instead of giraffe. Yeah. They also always say helicopter. They never say helicopter. And I had a kid, one of my kids used to say hippon-hoppenus for a hippopotamus. A hippon-hoppenus.
Oh, Michael,
Used to take so much harder to say than hippopotamus. Take him about 10 minutes just to say the word.
Deborah from Maidstone has got another one. She was talking about the fact that the doors slamming in her house must be a poltergeist. And her kids started calling them podgy kites.
Podgy kites.
Podgy kites.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Michael, fantastic. Michael's almanac of weird and wonderful words is out for every day of the year, a whole year's worth of them. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, John and Sally.
Plenty more of those brilliant words in the book.
Morning Live is on after us on BBC One. Let's find out what words they're using this morning. Rav and Helen, morning.
Morning. Well, I've got my fortnight tea, definitely.
Sometimes we just make words up, but now we've legitimised it, because if Michael Rosen says it's fine, then it's fine.
Absolutely.
My granddad used to go up the wooden till, and it puts a smile on my face every time I say it. Coming up with us.